Hello everyone, my name is Braden. This is Airless Quill 9 and this is the second time that I am recording this video, so hope you all enjoy it. In today's video we are going to talk about the Glabrezu, the Demon of Delusion and Entrapment. We are going to examine their 2024 stat block, compare it to the 2014 version, talk about the changes that have been made, and just discuss what the Glabrezu is so you have an idea of how you might use this stat block. So let's go ahead and get straight to it. So Glabrezus embody delusion and predatory guile. These cunning demons know the most effective traps are those that individuals devise for themselves. Despite having massive claws and overwhelming physicality, Glabrezus excel at using flattery and misdirection to coerce victims into isolating themselves and harming others. In the Abyss, Glabrezus act as lone hunters or deceitful advisors to greater demons. Glabrezus seek routes to the material plane and relish being summoned by magic users. They eagerly serve mortals while tempting them to betray their allies and indulge in hubristic fantasies. A Glabrezu strives to murder its summoner once the magic user has committed irredeemable misdeeds, and the mortal soul is surely condemned to the abyss. So this is a pretty interesting demon that uses deception and other means to entice mortals into committing vile acts so that their souls are damned. But let's go ahead and talk about the stat block. So the Glabrezu is a large fiend, a demon of course, and they are chaotic evil in alignment. They have an armor class of 17, an initiative of +6, 189 hit points, a speed of 40 feet. For their ability scores, they have a strength of 20, dexterity of 15, constitution of 21, intelligence of 19, wisdom of 17, and charisma of 16. They are proficient in strength, constitution, wisdom, and charisma saving throws. They have deception at +7 and perception at +7 for their skills. They are resistant to cold, fire, and lightning damage, and they are immune to poison and the poison condition. They have 120 feet of true sight and passive perception of 17. They know Abyssal as a language, and they have telepathy of 120 feet as well. And the Glabrezu is a challenge rating 9 creature, giving them 5,000 experience points and a proficiency bonus of +4. For their traits, they have the Demonic Restoration trait, which states that if the Glabrezu dies outside the Abyss, its body dissolves into ichor, and it gains a new body instantly, reviving with all of its hit points somewhere in the Abyss. Magic Resistance states that the Glabrezu has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. Finally, in the action section, we have a multi-attack that allows the Glabrezu to make 2 pincer attacks and use Pummel or spellcasting. The pincer is a melee attack roll with a +9 to hit and a reach of 10 feet. On a hit, it deals 2d10 +5 slashing damage, and if the target is a medium or smaller creature, it immediately gains the grappled condition with an escape DC of 15 from one of the Glabrezu's 2 pincers. Pummel is a dexterity saving throw, DC 17, targeting one creature grappled by the Glabrezu, and on a failure, the target takes 3d6 +5 bludgeoning damage, but on a success, they take half damage. And finally, spellcasting is an action that allows the Glabrezu to cast one of the following spells requiring no material components and using intelligence as the spellcasting ability, with a spell save DC of 16. At will, they can cast Darkness, Detect Magic, and Dispel Magic, and once per day each they can cast Confusion, Fly, and Power Word Stun. With all that being said, let's go ahead and talk real quick about what changes have been made from the 2014 Glabrezu. So first off, the 2024 Glabrezu is now proficient in initiative rolls, so they now have a +6, where they normally had a +2 before, so that is a nice boost there. The Glabrezu has also gained 3 hit dice, so their hit points have gone up from 157 in 2014 to 189 in the 2024 rule set, so that's pretty cool. So now they have additional hit points as well. In 2014, the Glabrezu did not have any skills assigned to their stat block, so now in 2024, the Glabrezus automatically get Deception and Perception, so that's pretty nice there. And in the resistances section, there isn't really any changes here other than the fact that the Glabrezu has lost resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks, but every creature has lost that resistance, so that is no longer present in 2024. So that is a small change there, and that probably is why the Glabrezu now has additional hit points that it did not have before. The Demonic Restoration trait is entirely new for the stat block, but this was present in the text of 2014. It just wasn't stated anywhere in the stat block, so most DMs actually forgot that this was a trait that the Glabrezus as well as other demons had, so that is why this is now present in this stat block as well as all other demon stat blocks as well. Next up, we have to talk about the action section because there are some changes here, and really the main change here is in the multi-attack, the Glabrezu now makes 2 pincer attacks and uses pummel or spellcasting. In 2014, it made 2 pincer attacks and then 2 fist attacks, so fists have been completely removed from the stat block. However, the Glabrezu could replace 2 attacks with its with a casting of a spell. So that is a very small wording change there, but it functions pretty much the same. But pummel is entirely different from the fists. It now is basically a saving throw. Fists were a melee attack as well. So pummel is something new, and since it's a saving throw, it does function quite differently. However, it still deals the same average damage as both of those fists would have dealt, so there isn't really a damage change here, other than the fact that pummel does deal half damage if the creature succeeds on the saving throw, so that may have actually increased the DPR slightly. So yeah, other than that, no really major changes to the Glabrezu. The Glabrezu is a really good creature, especially with the ability to make 2 attacks with its pincers and then use either pummel or spellcasting, which spellcasting is the really powerful option here, particularly because the Glabrezu can cast spells like Dispel Magic to get rid of effects that might be present on the battlefield, or even cast Confusion to confuse player characters, or Power Word Stun is a really powerful option here, because then that will ensure that the Glabrezu then is able to get some really good attacks off with its pincers. So very, very good options here in the stat block, and I think the Glabrezu is looking just a little bit more beefy and a little bit more dangerous, honestly, with these particular changes to the stat block. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video, so thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to give it a like and subscribe if you want more content like this. Sorry that the first video had some audio trouble, but now I got this one up for you all to listen to, so hope you all enjoyed that. But until then, thank you all for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video. See you later.